What's happening, boys? It's me, the Humie. I'm gonna be making an orc choppa today, but before I even did that, I went and got some supplies. I got a wooden stick, I got myself some foam here to make the blade of the choppa, oops, squeak, and I got a little glass skull thing to put on the pommel, but we'll get to that when we get there. Now I know what you're probably thinking, Scott, why would you make an orc choppa? Well, to put quite simply, I think orcs are neat. So I decided that maybe, just maybe, I could try to make an orc costume. However, you can't do anything without some sort of melee weapon, which is the reason for this. I wanted to make one life-size to an orc, and then I looked up the the average height for an orc boy. Yeah, it's quite massive. Hold on, I actually have to measure this real quick. So this is roughly, give me a second. This is roughly 3 feet long, but it'll work because like a third of this is gonna be an axe head. So it'll be fine. The design I'm going for is mainly just an axe with some extra stabby bits on it. Other than that, nothing too serious. Even a grok can figure it out. So I'm gonna try to walk y'all through the process of how I'm doing this and then go from there. I'm gonna try to go for this one to see if it works or something. But actually, hold on. I'm gonna walk you through the process in case you want to try to do this too. So just give me a few minutes. First, I was gonna measure and see how big the axe head was going to be on the stick. So I decided to measure the paper and see how big it was going to be. This paper isn't big enough. Let me see if I can find a bigger sheet of paper. Well, safely to say there is no paper that I have of that size. So we're just gonna try to make do. We can adjust the size of the thing later. So right now, let's see here. Okay, we're gonna try for a choppa. We're gonna see if it can actually work. But other than that, let's get to it. I started drawing the rough shape of what I wanted the axe head to be. And since the axe head was going to take up most of the paper, I decided to trace off the bits of the paper that I didn't want on there. So what I did is just started roughly making the axe head of the design that I wanted. I've just realized that you can't really see it, that the axe head that I'm trying to make is going to be massive. So I'm gonna cut it out and then show it to you. This is roughly gonna be the shape of the axe head. Notice how it is larger than my head. But basically the axe is gonna work like that, if possible. I may extend it a little bit, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, right now that is the shape of my axe head. Alright, let me throw away all this trash, that way this squeak doesn't eat it. Alright, so what we want to do here is we want to basically make the shape of the axe head onto the foam. That way we get a good shape. Holy crap, this is like most of the, this is most of the actual head, or the foam anyway. This is crazy. I have to get my emotional support squig to help me out in these trying times. Now to trace it. This will hopefully not take that much time. So there's the axe head. I don't think you could see it, but here, let me see if I can. You can just barely make that out. Let me see if I can get some of this other stuff to work. So I have the general shape of the axe head, but I want it kind of thick. So I think I'm gonna make one more. I didn't think of how I'd do this. Luckily, I have a good bit of excess foam here, so if I want to make some extra bits, I can. So I have both sides that I want to use. I just hope it's thick enough for this. Let me see here. Yeah, so this is gonna be a pretty much hollow blade. However, I could probably fill it in with some extra foam bits later on. Let me see what this would look like that. It looks pretty good. Of course, I could put some other foam around that bit, but should be fine. For now, let's go ahead and cut it out with a knife. So keep in mind, this is just a general shape. Here, let's go ahead and do that. And yeah, I didn't think to flatten this foam before I started this project, but hey, at least we got it going. So this is the axe head shape that I want to go with. And I want to put the handle right there. Well, I realized I put my camera weird. So let's see here. Like that roughly. Yeah, somewhere around there. I think this will look pretty good. What about you? I plan to make a full orc costume. Like iron jaw thing and all. I'll probably put a picture here of what I mean. But yeah, I intend to make a full orc costume. Maybe not all out of foam, but at least some of the parts I actually, you know, are actually melee combat. So like obviously a choppa, maybe a power claw if I am to make one or something of that sort. But yeah, other than that, I may not make it out of foam. I don't know, we'll see. There we go. All right. So I'm gonna kind of show you my plan for the axe head. So the choppa's main stabby bit, or main killy bit, is made out of 2 pieces. I may make that different later on. They're roughly the same shape. So what I plan to do here is I plan to glue both sides like this, the edges, and then wrap the axe head around like this. Let me see if I can get it in a general shape. Yeah, like that. That way, whenever it's combined, it'll look a lot better. And then we'll clean up this edge bit later. So to kind of put it in perspective, the final result I'm wanting to go with is the axe head like this generally. Yeah. And obviously add some foam back here to kind of make it look like it's a complete axe head. Up here on the top, I may put the glass skull up here, or I may put it at the pommel of the axe, depending on how we want to do it. Okay, so right now I am planning to glue it together with some super glue. That's backwards. Super glue. That still may be backwards. I don't know. This may weaken. The only reason I'm using it right now is basically because it's the only glue I have, and because this is mainly a prototype anyway. I may make a much bigger one later. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna go ahead and glue the blade together, if I can get it to work. I'm gonna hold this in place and we'll see what happens. I don't have anything to put on it for weight, but yeah, this is the plan at the moment. I don't know if this is how this is gonna work, or if it's going to work, but we're gonna try it. And so I'm just gonna hold this in place for a bit, and then I'm gonna check on it here in about a couple minutes and see how it works. Actually, hold on. I have an even worse idea. Bam! Whole bunch of weight. And of course, emotional sports grid to keep an eye out. And while that's going on, I am going to make lunch. So yeah, there's that going on. Okay, so after I've had my lunch, I'm gonna check in and see the progress of the seal. Thank you, Squid, for keeping watch. The seal that we have, breaking news! No, the seal that we have, I didn't glue this that perfect. Oh well, we can fix it up. So, the seal that I have looks pretty good right now. I don't plan on tearing it apart, so should be fine. Yeah, looks good. Let me go ahead and get the stick real quick. There we go. That looks pretty good. Handle's a little too long. Well, maybe. Yeah. Maybe cut it off about right there. Yeah. So, right now, with this being the axe bit, we're gonna want to cover up this bit, either that or have it wrap around it. But since we're only gonna have so little room if we wrap it all the way around, I'm just gonna cut out an extra foam bit and put it back here after I glue this together. But as for right now, looking pretty good. So if I open this up, you'll see that this bit down here and this bit are open, but we don't want this bit open because, well, it looks kind of shit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna glue together this bit and leave this top bit open, because I plan to cover this with the skull anyway. It's not gonna cover all this, but it's gonna cover a good chunk. So yeah, I'm gonna glue this together, put the box back on it for a few minutes, and then we'll start cleaning it up some. Did we run out of paper towels? Don't have paper plates. You have a napkin though. Alright, is that all of it? Of course not. There we go, now it's not on the table, but now that's not glued. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the box back on top of it. There we go. Got a little bit of super glue on the outside, but that's fine. It'll stick by the time it's ready. And we're gonna wait for a few minutes, let that sit, let it glue together, and then we'll get back to the build. Okay, so let me go ahead and sit down. So the glue is sticking pretty well. We have it basically like just a really thick sheet of paper, but whenever I open it, got that top bit open, but this bottom bit isn't open. So it'll be a lot easier and a lot better looking whenever I get that done. I'm debating whether to glue this bit together or not. If I do decide to do that, it can be done later. I'm thinking of maybe just gluing this bit in right now. That way we get a nice start on it. This is still way too long. I may leave it for now. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and glue the stick onto the head of the choppa, and I may have to find something to clamp it together for a few minutes. Let me see if I can find something like that. We do have a problem now. So, the problem in question is I won't have a clamp to hold this onto the stick once I glue it. So what I'm thinking of doing right now is doing the same thing I have for the other bits, just put the box on top of it. However, I'm gonna clean the blade up a little bit first because it's uneven in some bits, like right here, little bits of right here and right here. I'm gonna at least clean it a little. That way, putting on some of the extra bits, it won't be as difficult. Okay, so putting a stick on this, I don't think will hold it, at least not in the position I want it to be held for a good while. So I genuinely think I will have to sit here for a good bit and hold it while it glues. Let me see if I can, hold on. At least while I'm holding it, I could try to patch up some of the gluing bits in. So I have glued some of the bit into there. I'm gonna let it sit for a while. That way the glue sticks to it and is able to dry. That way, whenever I want to measure some of the other bits, I don't have a chance of ripping it apart accidentally while it's trying to glue. So I'm gonna let it sit for a bit because it's already looking like it's gonna stick. And yeah, I'm just gonna let it sit for a bit. Okay, after some time later, this is coming along pretty nicely. The axe head is, again, freaking gigantic. This is it compared to my head. It's freaking huge. Needless to say, I think that went well. Now, we just need to fix up some of these smaller bits, like the back right here and the top bit right here. I may not add a whole lot here, maybe like a very small bit, and then put the thing on top like that. Other than that, nothing too serious. We're gonna see if it can actually fit on here. Oh yeah, It's a little big on the top, but that'll be fine. We're not looking for perfect, we're looking for good. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean up these edges right here, clean up these bits right here, and then we're gonna go ahead and glue the thing on. There we go. Now we're getting it. Now we're getting something relatively decent. So yeah, same thing here. I'm gonna try to hold it for a good bit until I think it's gonna stick. And then after that, I'm gonna let it dry. Okay, so after some gluing and a little bit of stuff off screen, I have gotten the back of the axe covered, and I've gotten the top of the axe covered. And for right now, I think this is a good start. This is really making me want to try a Master of Executions from World Eaters. I would need a much bigger stick and a lot more foam. But I think this is a great start for an orc choppa. This may be the end of part 1. If you want me to continue with this, let me know in the comments. If you have any other stuff you want to see me build, let me know. I hope you all have a good day, and yeah. Ooh!